So, in Cairns, one of the main things to do is explore its islands. Now, there are two main islands. There's Fitzroy and there's Green. We're gonna be hitting both, but Green Island is our objective today. We're gonna do some snorkeling. We're gonna walk around the whole thing. So apparently you can do it in about 45 minutes. And apparently the largest crocodile in captivity is there. Apparently he has no teeth. He's like blind. He's like 150 years old. And apparently he's there because he kept eating like cattle and tried to eat like a school group and stuff like that. Apparently it's a big deal. Apparently he was relocated because he was not a very good crocodile. We made it. Green Island. Let's do it. It's cool. You can see the reef right off Jay. And it is beautiful right off the bat. It's a little bit overcast. It's a little windy and chilly, but we're thinking, I have a feeling, I'm thinking it's gonna warm up. Either way, we're getting in the water. And one of the ones we're here to see, that guy right there. This is Cassius.
Joey.
That's not Joey. His name is Philip.
Philip.
Right away, the entranceway to Green Island here. Stunning, stunning, beautiful. Very rainforesty. What's cool about this island is it's basically a collection of coral that over time hardened. And what makes Green Island so special is that for some reason a rainforest formed on this coral island, which is pretty insane. It is really so cute right off the bat. Like there's this little adorable little walkways and there's this cute little village you walk through with all like these little pointed round buildings. Really gives you that kind of small tiny little resort town vibe. And you have to walk through these like mangrove trees and all that. It's beautiful little pathways. It feels and looks similar to Rottnest Island if you have been there. And there's crocodiles. Oh, it's a ship. This is so cool. The entranceway is a ship. What's up, big boy?
Here we do have two saltwater crocodiles. These are going to be the majority of the species you'll see here at Marineland today. We do also have one little American alligator off to my left. Also two crocs called Boss and Minnie, and they are actually Papua New Guinean freshwater crocodiles. Definitely worth checking out as they are very rare, some may say exotic species. Now the two crocs that we're going to be starting with here today, you'll notice that even though they are the same age at 50 years old, there's a pretty significant size difference between the two. So the female of this species is capable of reaching up to a maximum length of around about the 3.5 metre mark. Our buller down here, the male however, at 4.3 metres, he's got a lot of growing yet to do, considering the males are capable of reaching upwards of 7 metres long. Now guys, what I'm going to be feeding the crocs here today, we've just got some small portions of chicken. And obviously that does not look like much food for a big croc. But believe it or not, even for the biggest crocs here at the park, that is Cassius included, now one piece of chicken like that would be more than enough for them to happily survive on for up to a week. So crocs actually do have one of the slowest metabolisms of any animal on earth, so it does take them a huge amount of time to break down their food. Out there in the wild, however, a big croc like Buller here would be capable of eating upwards of 200 kilos in a single sitting. But if he did eat that much, he would not have to eat again for up to 2 years afterwards. They can actually go 12 months on a completely empty stomach. Now guys, I'm going to be trying to get the crocs up and jumping about today. Now as much fun as this is for me to do, and as awesome as it is for everyone to watch, fitting as these are captive animals, the feeding show will generally be the only form of exercise that our crocs tend to get for the day. If we don't get them up and moving about, the rest of their day will simply be spent lazing about in the sun, as Bella is so effortlessly demonstrating. This is due to the fact that crocodiles are reptiles, so they are cold-blooded, which means they get around 90% of their total body energy directly from the sun. Only about 10% of a crocodile's energy levels comes from the food that they eat, which is the opposite to us humans. The jumping you'll see here today is a natural behaviour. We don't teach the crocs here at the park to jump. They will be jumping both here in captivity and also out there in the wild to try and catch any see here is they just use their back legs. Use their back legs to lift that main body weight up off the ground. Big kicks with that tail to get the ultimate lift. So as you can see with the female down there, outside the water their tails run around half the length of their body and are extremely heavy. So they do become a bit of a dead weight. Inside the water, very different. Even a big croc like Muller here will be capable of swimming in excess of 30 kilometers per hour, which is around triple the speed of an Olympic freestyle swimmer. So inside the water you got virtually zero chance of escape. Outside the water, however, it is widely accepted that most able-bodied people should be capable of outrunning a big croc. Not that many people have lined up to test out that theory. Certainly not many. Hey guys, you may have noticed there that Buller had to have his head up above the water to swallow that piece of food. The crocodiles can't actually swallow food underwater. At the back of their throat they have a flap called a palatal valve, and that stops all the water rushing into their stomach and lungs. So if he was to try and swallow that food underwater, there is actually a good chance that he could potentially drown. Now guys, that is a very important fact for you all to remember, just in case you were ever unfortunate enough to find yourself being attacked by a crocodile. They say that your best method of survival is to reach your hand down the back of its throat and push down that flap to allow the water to rush in. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Well, in that situation, I am sure you would use anything to show. People also say pressing in on their eyes will help make them let go. I'm yet to find somebody who that has successfully worked for. Now guys, crocodiles do have the strongest bite force of any animal on Earth. A croc of this size, you'd be looking at a bite force somewhere about 2 tons per square inch of jaw pressure. The next closest rival to that in the wild would be a great white shark, and they're biting down at around about 1.5 tons. Us humans, we bite down at a whopping 160 pounds per square inch of jaw pressure.
Oh, I love that noise.
So to give you a further idea of what that equates to, if you were unfortunate enough to find yourself with your head stuck in the mouth of a big croc like this, and he inevitably did decide to bite down, the result would be about the equivalent of us humans stepping on a chicken egg. Very little resistance.
Not much.
Come on, one more. If you'd like to make your way either way, we're going to head over here to the next croc here with Whitey and Noah.
He's
not too happy about it. Point out that here at Greenland we are not a farm. So none of the crocs you'll see here today are going to be getting turned into any sort of animal products. So no Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, none of that sort of stuff. We are simply a habitat for problematic crocodiles to live out their lives happily. So if they weren't born here at the park, they've been removed from the wild, having been deemed too much of a risk to the public. Now, whether that is attacking people, pets, livestock or boats, whatever the situation, if they've been deemed to be too risky, we've had to call up to come and remove them. This male croc here, Whitey, is the only exception to that rule. So he was actually sent to us from a crocodile farm where he was the head breeding croc until he decided it would be a good idea to kill 6 of his girlfriends. Obviously not too much good as a breeding croc anymore after that. So the only reason that we do have the animals here partnered up is simply to keep the males happy. Because if they're in here by themselves, when it comes mating season, they're going to want to go looking for a girlfriend. And in a place like this, that means either climbing over or knocking down fences to find one. Not a very good situation, I'm sure you understand. Now in Whitey here's case, prior to the female being introduced into this enclosure to him, he actually climbed over the wooden fence at the back of the enclosure to get to Bella, the female croc, at the front. And Buller was not too happy about that. So a fight has ensued. And when he does lift his head back up here and hold it up for us, you will see that Whitey has had the front of his bottom jaw completely bitten off during that fight. Now, that part of his jaw is actually on display in one of the cabinets inside near that pond with the blue lights, if you're interested in seeing that. It is a pretty cool thing to see. A good thing to note though guys is these types of injuries are extremely common, both here in captivity, also out there in the wild. Crocs do fight a lot, as you can imagine. you are actually more likely to find a crocodile missing some part of its body than one completely intact. Around 7 of every 10 crocodiles will at some point of their life have a piece of their body removed through a fight. The good thing to know, guys, is that the crocodile does have the most sophisticated heart in the animal kingdom. So unlike all other reptiles that have a 3-chambered heart, crocs have a 4-chambered heart, very similar to us humans and all other mammals. And that enables them to do a couple of pretty special things. Now, first thing being, they can slow down their heart rate to just a few beats per minute to help them hold their breath for up to 2 hours at a time, waiting for the right moment to strike. But more importantly, when they do sustain an injury such as this, they can cut off the blood supply to any part of their body at will, so that that wound will heal up nicely with very little risk of infection, which is an extremely handy tool to have when you live in water such as this. In 1998, this croc actually attacked an 18-year-old girl in that river. Now, fortunately for her, she did survive. He just grabbed her by the leg and she was somehow able to struggle free. His girlfriend, who's down the back there, you may be able to see, her name is Babinda. Babinda is named after a small town just south of Cairns, where she was captured after she ate somebody's dog. So unfortunately, dogs are one of the crocodile's favourite foods, as dogs don't seem to have developed a fear nor an understanding of the danger that these animals possess, much to their peril. Now guys, as you move through the park here today, do not be surprised if either one of these 2 crocs actually does try to attack you through the fence. Now, these are the only 2 crocs out here at the park that will sometimes attempt to do that. But please do note that these fences are strong enough to withstand that. So far.
He looks so happy with his eyes closed.
I do not want to see that one.
So loud.
He's just getting pissed.
Yeah.
So as much as it seems like I tease the crocs with the food, guys, as I said, it's very important that we do get that exercise into them. Being captive animals, we do obviously run a risk of overfeeding, which is another reason why they only get small portions. Okay guys, so we are going to move over to the big boy now, finish up with the king of the park, Big Cassius. The biggest croc that we have here at the park, quite obviously. But not only that, as I mentioned at the start of the show, he is the current Guinness World Record holder for the world's largest captive croc. So in 2012, the Guinness World Record Company came out to the island and certified him at 5.5 metres long, or 5.48 metres. So just under that 18-foot mark. If you're having difficulty working out what 18 foot looks like, Cassius is actually the same length as this pole. So let that sink in for a second. Now guys, when Cassius was captured, he was weighed in at an astonishing 1.3 tonne. So well over that 1,000 kilogram mark, which actually does make him the heaviest crocodile ever recorded. Now, he's been here at the park since 1987. He was captured in 1984 up near Darwin on the Finnis River, where he was a problematic crocodile attacking people's boats and also eating farmers' cattle. So in 1984, the Northern Territory government decided enough was enough and had him pegged for removal after he actually bit the outboard engine clean off the back of someone's boat. You got on your head, mate. So you will see all around the end of his mouth and nose here today, around the end of his snout, lots of big chunks missing and big scars around the end of his mouth here. They are injuries as the result of being attacking boat propellers. Also down the centre of his spine, you'll see there's more white marks, which is more scarring, but the result of having been run over by a boat. So he has a long history with boats and not a very nice one. He's actually missing around 8 inches off his tail, as well as his front left leg almost entirely. Now both of those injuries were sustained prior to being captured, and are either the result of a fight with another croc, or even potentially a run-in with a bull shark. Now out there in the wild, the male crocodile of this species have a general life expectancy of up around 70 to 80 years old. Females around the 50 to 60 year mark. at which point they tend to stop regrowing their teeth due to stress. So crocs do regrow their teeth throughout their life and will go through around 3,000 teeth. Now once they stop that regrowth, obviously they can no longer effectively hunt or defend themselves. So they either end up falling victim to a younger, more aggressive croc or dying through starvation. Now in Cassius here's case, as you can see, not only does he still have all of his teeth, he is still currently growing new teeth to this day. And at well over 110 years old, that is true testament to just how happy and healthy he is here at the park. Hey guys, get Cassius to open up his mouth here and hopefully play along and hold it open. And get you to have a look down the back of his throat. You will see there is that flap at the back, stopping you from being able to see right down into his throat. Once he finished ghost swallowing. So once again, that is that palatal valve. And once again, that's what you've got to aim for. Now folks, like I said, Cassius here was a problematic crocodile prior to being removed from the wild. Who here, if anybody, has seen or heard of a movie called Rogue?
No.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Rogue, I do suggest you check it out. It is on Netflix. It is based on a true story, and it's actually based on Cassius. So in the mid to late 1970s, like I said, he was attacking boats. This unfortunately resulted in him attacking and sinking a crocodile sightseeing boat, and 6 of the people on board disappeared. I am not saying that Cassius ate 6 people, guys. That's highly unlikely, although not impossible. But there were a lot of crocodiles on that section of the Finnis River that would have helped to get rid of those people. Unfortunately for one of those crocs, his name was Sweetheart. And Sweetheart was misidentified as being the croc responsible for that attack. He was captured in 1978 but subsequently drowned after being overdosed with tranquilizers in a trap. And now Sweetheart's body lives in the Darwin Museum as a statue with a plaque saying, "Here lies Sweetheart, croc responsible for the Rogue attacks." Now, fortunately for Cassius, not so great for Sweetheart, they did in fact get the wrong croc. We know this due to the fact that after Sweetheart was removed, boats continued to be attacked on that river for the next 6 years until Cassius was eventually captured and taken away. So 99% of the world's crocodile experts are in agreement that this was the animal responsible for that attack. The 1% that are reluctant to accept that is the Darwin Museum. Hey guys, before we do finish up the show here today, I would just like to quickly point out, you may have been wondering, why do we have such an enormous animal in this relatively small enclosure in small pond? So crocodiles actually only need 1.5 times their own body length of water to be happy. Any more than that is just extra area that they have to feel in control of, which in a captive setting will increase their stress levels. So we're obviously trying our best to avoid that with him. But in his case in particular, due to the fact that he is so old, heavy, long and missing that front left leg, those 4 factors combined make it virtually impossible for him to drag himself the whole way up out of the water to lay in the sun and build his energy levels up naturally. So he's kept in a smaller pond.
Absolutely beautiful day. We couldn't have picked a more perfect day. We went snorkeling, saw an awesome shark. We're gonna get back in now and the sun's coming out so you can see like all the coral actually there. So we're gonna go check it out. Let's do it right now.
As beautiful as it was sad to see just how much of the coral was bleached. I was also told that there is much less fish than there used to be, and nowhere near as much as there should be.
So absolutely beautiful Green Island, phenomenal. I think we got some awesome shots. We did a little mini photo shoot for Michelle. I got some great photos, some great video, and we're literally at the end of the day. We're at the end, the precipice. No, the conclusion of our day. The precipice was the beginning. And yeah, beautiful. Love it, really recommend it. Crocodiles were awesome. And we're gonna go for one more quick dip as soon as Michelle's ready. And then we're heading on the boat, right over there. Alright, that's it. That's the day. Thank you, Green Island.